If one wishes to rule the Mediterranean, one must eventually realize that it will inevitably lead to a reckoning with the domain of mighty Neptune. The sea is a tempestuous and cruel place, to do with which I have had always as little as possible. Rome itself has had to come to terms with this conundrum in recent years, particularly as a result of its conflicts with the naval powers of Carthage and Greece. Just so did the Galatians too eventually find themselves upon the shores of southern Anatolia, staring across the sea towards the island of Rhodes, home to some of the most talented mariners in the world, wondering what was to be done about it. The answer to this question came in the form of Hipparchus of the Tilistoburgi tribe, who had taken it upon himself to explore the opportunities offered by this new realm of warfare. I was against this from the start, arguing that the money set aside for this endeavour would have been better spent on mercenaries, for there were plenty of experienced Greek crews in the ports of Side and Ephesos willing to set sail for the right price. I also had a natural aversion to desperate schemes such as this ever since the incident with the elephant wagons, but the chieftain of the Tilistoburgi was undeterred. He had constructed a great high-sided longship with a swan figurehead, upon which he would sail with his retainers. For the remainder of his fleet, more tried and tested Greek designs were relied upon, but crewed by uncertain groups of Galatian warriors armed with axe, sword, and javelin. As the great longship was launched, I watched from the shore, shaking my head and remarking, "Gauls upon the open sea, whatever shall the gods inflict upon us next?" My wife was with me at the time, and noting the great boar crests and banners upon the vessel in question, she said that even pigs can swim, and much faster than you might imagine. However right she may or may not have been proven in the fullness of time, these particular pigs did not stay afloat for long. The construction of the new vessels was, to my enduring frustration, in no way kept remotely secret, done in broad daylight in the port of Side, when the Rhodians quickly caught wind of this, sending forth their finest admiral, Democritus, to deal with the matter. In an embarrassing affair that would have amused me tremendously were it not so costly, his ships arrived in force and, greatly outnumbering Hipparchus, forced him to flee, his rowers carrying his handful of vessels away down the coast eastwards with the wind. Of course, there was no friendly port to be found anywhere east of Side, a fact which Democritus was well aware of, and so did not bother to give chase. He then proceeded, not to blockade the city, but instead to embark upon a theatrical production of sorts, wherein he and his fleet patrolled the approaches, escorting merchant vessels to and from the port under the pretense of restoring order to the lawless Gallic coastline. He would sail his own great flagship right into the bay with impunity, waving and smiling to crowds who gathered upon the shore, cheering at his antics with a rebellious fervour that would have made any plebeian from the Aventine smugly proud to witness. Hipparchus, meanwhile, eventually had to abandon his ships upon a Cilician beach and marched on foot back to Side. Undeterred, however, by what seemed a divinely inspired setback, he moved his operations instead to the more easily guarded port of Ephesos and began once again his task of building a Galatian fleet. This time, however, my advice did not go completely unheeded, and a large number of ships crewed by mercenaries were found to supplement his efforts. This was, of course, in no small part thanks to the fact that Ephesos was presently under the protection of Caxtos of the Trochmai, and like myself, he found this project to be a foolish one both in conception and practice, and insisted quite adamantly that mercenaries be found and purchased at whatever expense might be required. Caxtos took this quite seriously, for the safety of himself and his own troops would rest in the hands of this new navy if it were required of him to undertake an invasion of Rhodes itself. Thus, I took care of this in short order. The native Ephesians had little interest in assisting our efforts, but there were a large number of Greek crews from Athens who had since been driven out of mainland Greece by the armies of Rome and Illyria, and further to this, mercenary crews of Rhodians who, like most Greeks, had seemingly no qualms at all with taking up arms against their own countrymen, particularly as many of them seemed to hold a dim view of the current Archon and his land campaigns in the east. As a result, within a year, the Galatians soon had a force of ships that, while probably laughable to the average Carthaginian or Egyptian, would suffice to engage Democritus's fleet. The Gauls learned what they could from their mercenary counterparts, who I am sure had little faith in Hipparchus' leadership. However, in recompense, I had made sure to pay them very handsomely indeed for their services. As always, though, Neptune would have the last laugh in his own domain, as you shall soon see. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to Rome 2 Total War. It is, of course, the Galatian campaign as usual, and we begin today's episode with the grovelling of the Arabans. Having realised their critical and costly mistake of leaving only one army outside of Edessa, I had to think of the name of the town then, after sacking it, they're now begging for peace. They offer us paltry at this point, 1,600 gold in return for a peace treaty. No! I refuse. You will burn. Oh, I wondered what that faction was. It's just slaves, apparently. Yes, you've just noticed as well, we're importing so many things through trade that they're going off the edge of the user interface over there. Who are you at war with right now? You're at war with the slaves, you're at war with Pontus, and you're at war with us. Wow, dude, you managed to piss off Pontus and us at the same time? That's, yeah, that was a poor life choice. Well, we better gobble you up before Pontus does, quite frankly. Yeah, no, sod off. We're still in the middle of the end turn sequence, as you can see. I don't know if anything else of interest is going to happen here. Possibly not, but welcome back nevertheless, everybody. I'm recording this episode directly off the back of the last one. I'm endeavouring to get a nice big chunk of videos recorded in order to avoid a drought of videos happening like did recently when I got ill. So, Preto has been exposed! Okay, he's fine though. Alauni, our druid, is ranked up. I don't recall whether or not I even brought this up at all at the time, but we do have a druid. She is functionally identical to our chieftains.
Honor the gods.
These guys. It's just exactly the same thing. It's just she's a druid for flavour. Let's see. What do we want to level up? Political zealots, +2 cultural conversion, local province. Yes, please. And then beyond that, can't level up any of the other red skills. The red ones are my favourite. They're all to do with empire maintenance and public order and cultural conversion stuff. They're always the best ones to take, in my humble opinion. Although I am told you can really break the game if you get loads of economist traits on these guys and stick them in outside every single town in a province. You can make ridiculous amounts of money doing that, apparently. Administrator traits, military governor. That one reduces empire maintenance. That's not bad, but it takes a bit to unlock that. What kind of you're pretty much permanently assigned to Edessa at the moment. So what kind of money does Edessa make? At the moment, agricultural income from farms, but also 900 wealth from commerce because, as previously discussed, Edessa is on the Silk Road. Let's have a look at the province effects. These are important to note. If you're new to this game, or at least if you're new to Divide et Impera, pay attention to the province effects for every town you have, because they'll detail important things like what kind of buildings you should focus on in that province. For example, Edessa gets a +8% wealth bonus from agriculture and livestock buildings, and +5% from all commerce buildings. Rubbish for industrial potential, though. -5% wealth from any industrial buildings you build here. So, yeah. You probably don't want to build industrial buildings in Edessa. Trade is good. farms are good, but I think trade is probably especially good, considering this is, you know, Silk Road territory. Because you get plus 6% wealth from commerce in all regions, and as far as the game is concerned, a region is these. It's a town, basically. Regions equals cities. Provinces equals Mesopotamia here. This is all one province. It's a little confusing, but that's how it works. Cool, so in that case, if we go back over to you, and you have to get all the way down there in order to get a commerce bonus. I don't suppose any of these give you a commerce bonus, do they? That's just a bit of a shame. Well, you can get an agriculture bonus. We go that. Well, industrialist is pointless for her, but it will allow her to get export specialist later, so I'm going to have to take that, I guess. So not the best level up for her. Ships built. Lovely. We got enough population to recruit another one this turn. We do. So we'll keep doing that. Yeah, -9 public order from this fleet right now. Bigger the fleet, the more public order they take away, I believe. The Rhodian fleet over here at Sea has not moved. They're not, it's weird that they're not actually blockading the town, but they effectively are. They aren't sinking my trade ships. They aren't stopping trade from getting into Sea, but they are stopping me from getting any ships in or out of the city at the moment. What was this guy's name again? Democritus, yeah. With his ships full of Rhodian slingers. As I've said before, I don't like to go into a naval battle in this game unless I outnumber the enemy at least roughly 2 to 1. So it'll be a while before I try and take them on. And even then I might suffer appalling casualties because I suck at naval battles. Outraged populace in Syria. Yeah, they're not very happy. They had a -50 something public order last turn on account of all the conquest shenanigans that have been going on, and they're still not very happy. We'll get somebody to fix that, shall we? The Trocmai are looking a little bit rebellious at the moment, so you guys can organise games in Syria. We've got the cash to do it, so it's fine. That brings it down to -3. It's a shame we don't have Antioch, because otherwise we'd be able to issue an edict. I don't think I'm ever going to get Antioch off the Ptolemies, frankly. Unfortunately, even if I spammed the diplomatic action to try and get Antioch, as previously discussed, it's sort of a bit preposterous to think that the Ptolemies would give up Antioch. It's one of the most important cities in this entire half of the Mediterranean. The Seleucids made it their capital, after all. Antiochus did, anyway. It used to be Seleucia, but then Antiochus made it his capital. It's presumably why it's called Antioch. But anyway, even if I did spam it, though, there's no guarantee they wouldn't just give me Palmyra instead, which I don't actually want. So, yeah, this is annoying, but it is what it is. How do we fix this public order problem? This is annoying and difficult. I've already got like 2 damn shrines in this province right now, and even then they're still not happy. A lot of it is provincial instability, to be fair. Slaves -8, taxes -7, cultural differences -9, buildings unrest -4, characters -9. Get a -9 from character. It'll be this douchebag here, Hieronymus. He'll be the reason why I've got such poor public order. Could try and get Preto to deal with him, but I can't do an assassination apparently. It's annoying. Where is what's her name? There she is. Wenedotia. It's a bit of a walk, dearie, but I'd like you to come over here and try and kill this guy eventually at some point. Because he's very annoying. Preto does not appear to be able to do assassinations, even though he has the trait assassin. God damn it. I think you have to take a different one in order to be able... There's another skill that enables assassination for these guys, I believe. Oddly enough, the assassin trait doesn't enable assassination. Who'd have thunk it? Right. Where's that other Rhodian army got to? There's this guy. There's another Rhodian army who's hanging out around here somewhere. You go over here. See if we can find him. Where's it wandered off to? There's a very small Rhodian army that's hanging out in Ptolemaic territory, and it's gone somewhere, and I don't know where. And I don't like not knowing where. Alright, anyway, we could hang around and reinforce you a bit, but honestly I think you'll be fine. So Magrix, who's got the most movement points? Magrix does by quite a long shot, actually. So we'll move you up first, and then we can make sure you're able to support each other. Excellent. And next turn, we're going to make the population of Hatra regret it was ever born. Oh, hello. There's a cat on my desk. Hello, Colin. You come to interrupt, have you? You've come to interrupt. Do you want to sit on my lap? Is that it? Come on, Felis Catus. Cat intermission, everybody. The best kind of intermission. Right. I think that's all there is to do for now, folks. I'll get back to you later. There we go, ladies and gentlemen. We've got them surrounded. We're going to deal with them straight away. No waiting this siege out, I don't think. That's their army. They've got a garrison as well we'll need to deal with. They're not. Units aren't great. I guess they've got the Sabaean nobles. We're a hodgepodge again. They've got the Assyrian infantry. Bloody Assyrians, man. They kicked my ass recently. I was playing the new Return of Rome expansion for Age of Empires 2 Definitive Edition, and I played a little wee random map game against... I was Carthage, and I was fighting against Assyria and the Macedonians, and the Assyrians kicked my ass, and the Macedonians, actually. I forgot how completely amazingly ruthless the AI is in Age of Empires 1 compared to Age of Empires 2. The Return of Rome expansion is basically Age of Empires 1 running in the AoE 2 engine. And apparently, they preserved the absolutely hilariously ruthless and evil AI from that first game. It's noticeably nastier than the regular Age of Empires 2 stuff. Anyway, irrelevant. Let's attack. Yeah, there's their garrison. Let's do this, shall we? Iaros and Magarix. Let's do what you do best, guys. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we are ready for war! Look at these marvellous shield wall spearmen at the front here. Look at the champion. He looks almost like a bloody Roman centurion. It's amazing. These Galatians are slowly but steadily becoming civilized. Nice greaves as well, by the way. I wonder who looted those from. We're ready, folks. The battle music is going hell for leather at the moment because we've actually started the battle. We're not in the deployment phase because I needed to get both armies up and deployed correctly. So anyway, it's the same plan as usual. Shield wall spearmen in the middle. Flanks are the lovely Thurius infantry, who are almost as good, frankly. They're just not as good at holding a battle line because they don't have as good defense. Hey, check it out, bird helmet. Love it. I imagine the wings don't flap like the real thing, though. Another cool-looking champion, actually, with a nice set of chainmail he's got there, and of course the lovely greaves. Very, very good. We've got the naked spearmen, the old naked fanatics. Bless them. Love the horned helmet there, by the way, my dude. Vikings might not have worn horned helmets, folks, but the Celts certainly did. It's a great example. Anyway, yeah, I've got the naked fanatics out on the flanks as usual. On the far flanks, anyway. Noble swordsmen right behind the front ranks of shield wall guys. Looking resplendent as usual. I've dumped the little unit of skirmishers here because I couldn't think what else to do with them for now. Nice helmet, dude. Too bad you you sold your shoes to pay for it, apparently. Yeah. We've got archers here. In this battle, because the garrison forces from the nearby town aren't present like they were last time, we've actually got Yaris' full stack on the battlefield this time, which includes a few units that weren't there last time, like these archers. So we've got them in attendance as well now. There's Magarix, hanging out in his usual spot. Baggage trains, plural. At the very back, guarding the baggage train, we've got all of the mercenaries, including the Babylonian spearmen, who are pretty good. They're not bad, the Babylonian spearmen. Here's the Syrian mercenaries, who I've written off previously, actually. I said these guys were rubbish. They're actually not really at all rubbish. They've got melee attack 7, which is air. Defense 14, which is not amazing, but not completely terrible. But one thing I noticed about these guys, as I was actually staring at their in-game models, actually, is that they're incredibly well armored. These guys have 38 armor, which is practically on par with the noble swordsman, I think. It is. They've got better armor than the noble swordsman, in fact. Because I was looking at these guys. There I was, sitting and staring at these boys while deploying them, and thinking to myself, and looking at guys like this, and thinking, you know, they're very well equipped. For a unit that I've said was crap, they are very well equipped. This guy here, right here, he's armed and armored in the same, roughly, kind of the same way as like a 5th century Roman legionary. He's got a big scale, you know, hauberk or whatever you call it. He's got a big shield, he's got a big spear, he's got a nice helmet. You know, several centuries from now, Roman soldiers will be marching around looking a bit like that. Slightly different shield, obviously. I was thinking to myself, my God, I feel like these guys ought to be better. And then I checked their stats, and I was like, oh, now I understand. What makes them good is the fact that they have superb armor. And as you can see, just by looking at them, yeah, they kind of do, don't they? Anyway, tangent on our Syrian mercenaries aside, I think we're ready to rock and roll. I've got the cavalry out here on the left flank with the Aros leading them, just like last time. Where is the man? That's a great dude with a moustache there, but it's not the moustache. Oh, here he is. One of my favourite characters in this campaign, this lad. What an absolute unit he is. Yeah, all the cavalry are out here. The Cappadocians, the lot. Don't know how much I've got for you guys to do today, but hey, the Arabans have kind of assembled outside the town with some of their units over here. The rest of them we don't really appear to be able to see because the terrain's in the way, but we've got some guy. I would hazard a guess that there's a big line stretching all the way across here. They've deployed an extremely wide front with the buildings at their back, and we've got to get up this hill, so... Off you go, boys. Alright, folks, they're pushing on the flanks. There's some shock cavalry coming this way. Let's counter-charge, Yaros. Do your thing, my dude. Let's kill these guys. They do have some spear infantry inbound. Hopefully, I'm hoping we can rout these guys before they get here, though. The army's still kind of on the move. Everybody speed up. Yeah, they're rushing down the hill to meet us, which is honestly not something I expected them to do. I'll level with you, but alright, fine. I've kind of...
One of our units has used all its ammunition.
Yeah, they're bringing cavalry around on this flank, so I sort of formed up another wall of shields and spears over here to kind of help try and deal with that, but it sort of is. They had Jav Cav inbound, so I was like, right, get the naked fanatics away from them.
One of our units has used all its ammunition.
Brilliant. And a bit of javelin counterfire has sorted them out, it looks like. Move up, boys. You guys, shield wall formation. Alright, we're doing okay. The cavalry, you do need to get out of there, though, because you are getting bogged down by the spearmen at the moment. Looks like their shock cavalry are wavering.
One of our units has used all its ammunition.
Very good. I'm gonna bring up the other mercs over here. How things going in the middle? Relatively well.
Our general is under attack.
Haven't really managed to get off our nice charge bonus here today. It's something I should get better at. It's kind of part of what makes our army good, really, is our charge bonus, and I always forget about it. Heavy shock cavalry, eh? I'm going to stick the fanatics on them. Alright. Pop an inspire. I don't think it really worked. The men are wavering. Who's wavering? Oh. You guys are. You managed to get stuck in there, apparently. Should have paid close attention to that. Sometimes when you try and fall your cavalry back in this game, you give them the order, right, get out of there, you're being swamped by spearmen, and sometimes the cavalry just decides, no, I don't think I will. And there's nothing you can do about it. You have to notice it in time and then order them to do it again. Okay, I'm going to try and move the baggage train back and then it's getting nailed by missile troops. Okay, most of this flank on their side is wavering, which is good. We've managed to pin these guys with our own spearmen, charge them in the rear. Shield wall is holding magnificently, just like they've been trained to do. Things are definitely looking a little bit ropier in this flank, though. Yeah, everyone just slam into them. Let's move you boys up as well. How things going over here? Kind of looks a bit messy, but it's alright. It's okay. So if you guys go after them. You guys getting pinned by our spearmen, excellent. Yeah, see, this is what happens in this game. It's kind of annoying if you attack a cavalry unit with infantry. The cavalry will stop whatever it's doing to have a slugging match with the infantry, even though that's a terrible idea. The default behavior is indeed for it to do exactly that. For some maddening reason. You have to specifically order them, no, I don't want you to fight the spearmen, you morons. What are we doing over here? You guys still running around after them? Okay, cool. That's fine. Actually, no, go this way. What on earth are you friggin' suicidal archers? Get back over there. What's going on over here? Hold in the middle. Is that the Shipri Tukul? What are those? Babylonian heavy spearmen. Ah, yeah. I'm not surprised they're holding in the middle there. Haven't got as much use out of the cavalry today as I would have liked, but it's alright. Got so much spare infantry to go around at the moment that it's sort of like you can get the flanking done just with them, really.
One of our units has used all its ammunition.
What's going on here? Just go chase those. Just get out of the way of the spearmen, for goodness sake. You over there, Magarix. How things go over here? You guys just chopping up these Arabans quite nicely. Yeah. No match for our Galatian warriors at all. Although the ship pretty cool over here are probably combat even, although it's about to stop being very even, I'm afraid. Because their allies on their left flank have broken and they're about to get absolutely mobbed.
One of our units has used all its ammunition.
How you boys doing? Doing alright. Those are our ship pretty cool over here. I don't have them in defensive formation. I don't think they really need to be right now. You boys are a bit of a problem. You're a local citizen militia, but you are drilled into a hoplite phalanx, Greek style, so it's going to be a bit annoying to take care of. What are we doing over here? I'm going to have you guys break formation, move up. Get on the flanks there.
The battle is turning in our favor.
I'd say it turned in our favor pretty decisively a while ago, Marcus, but whatever you say, man. Right, stop chasing them, turn around and deal with them. You're probably absolutely knackered now, aren't you? Are you winded? You're winded. It's not too bad. Alright, Magarix. I moved him there, like, felt like 2 seconds ago, and immediately he's already being mobbed by it. I apologize for my crazy mouse wheel, by the way, or this random zooming to the ground. Already he's being mobbed by a gaggle of light spearmen. The AI is very, very ruthless about pressing spearmen into cavalry. They don't let them sit around for very long. There we go. That's what we needed. Excellent. Magarix takes a back seat these days when it comes to doing the general thing. Most of the time, but he's still got it, as you can see. He can still work the magic.
One of our units has used all its ammunition.
What are those over there? Archers. Alright, looks like we're about to completely break them. Indeed we have. Fantastic. Alright, there we go, folks. As you can see, unfortunately, I've got that annoying UI bug again. So I'm going to have to restart the game after this. But we are victorious! We lost 677 men. Which is a little more than I would have liked, honestly, but I'm trying to figure out how the most of them were. Probably most of them were Magarix's boys. Yeah, but we got some level ups and whatnot, and we're good, so... raise, sack, loot for something around 20 grandish. I can't read the text because of the bug, but yes, please.
Ready for battle.
Lovely. 55,000 gold in the kitty right now. Not bad. Not bad at all. Gonna have to obviously repair all of this a little bit and then convert it later, but Hatra is ours. Yes, it is. The green blob has extended a little bit further to the east. We now actually border with Mesopotamia, the faction, I mean. And they've actually, since we liberated these guys, they've been busy, haven't they? Look, I've taken this over here, and I think... Do they still have that army over here somewhere? They might do. We can't see them right now, but they might be there. Right. Cool. I need to go restart the game now. Oh, the only other thing to note, actually, is that the Rhodians are marching about, skulking around again. They got one little army here and one little army here, and they're only tiny armies, but theoretically they're probably enough to take out the dreadful little garrisons here at Thapsacos and Edessa. So, I'm keeping an eye on them. I'm probably going to send Iaros off to go deal with them. In fact, yeah, you can... Off you pop, mate, this... Well, actually, no. I should probably keep you and Magrix together until we've taken Dura. Then you can go wandering off, squishing little random Rhodian stacks. Because Dura we still do need to deal with, don't we? Alright, well, folks, I'll be back. With a fixed menu as well. Well, isn't this interesting? So the RDIA... Wish they were a faction with a little... easier to pronounce name, but never mind. They've come to us asking for a non-aggression pact. These guys now rule most of Greece, the bits that Rome hasn't got anyway. They're actually Illyrians. They're tribesmen from Illyria who have apparently united under a pretty competent monarch and they've practically conquered Greece with a noticeable amount of help from Rome, I'm sure. Last turn, you may be interested to know that they defeated Sparta as well. Sparta is now gone. They've been destroyed as a faction, which makes me a little bit sad. I kind of fancied the idea of fighting the Spartans one day, but they got their asses kicked by the Illyrians, so they can't have been all that much worth fighting. And now these guys want a non-aggression pact, and yeah, the answer's no, asshole.
The best ale is of little comfort to a dry throat when talking results in nothing.
You get out of here with your silly bowler hat. I want Greece for myself, thank you very much. We interrupt this end turn sequence to bring you the battle. So I did in the end split Iaros off from Magarix's army. I decided I wanted to send Magarix's army back over to Edessa to try and get them replenished a little bit, because they're a lot of units on half health and below. Half health, half strength and below. So I decided to park Iaros at this river crossing in order to dissuade the Rhodians from advancing towards Hatra. May have just bumped the microphone there, guys. I apologise for that. However, interestingly, they've decided to sally forth and attack me, which I didn't expect, and the reason they're able to do it is because they've taken this tiny army and they've attacked me here where they're actually close enough to get the town garrison to help them. So, that's interesting. According to the auto-resolve, it's slimly in our favour. Should be, I guess. Most of the army is militia. They do have a fair number of archers, and a larger than you'd expect you compared to normal number of Greek hoplites. In addition to this tiny unit here. Yeah, I think we could beat them, although it might take some irritating casualties in the process, I think. Alright, folks, we're deployed. And I'm feeling immediately less confident than I was, to be honest. And you'll see why, but... well, we're ready. It's a river crossing battle. Now, to make river crossing battles more interesting, if perhaps a lot less realistic, the game has 2 river crossings in every river crossing battle, so it's not like the original Rome Total War where you'd often have just the one bridge with the enemy trying to pile across it. In this game, you always seem to have 2. Typically a bridge and then a ford like this, which means I've had to split the army. Over here, I've tried to sort of make the contingents on either side relatively similar, but we've got our Babylonian heavy spearmen, we've got the shield wall infantry, we've got Syrian mercenaries on this side, Thurius infantry behind them, archers at the back, cavalry at the very back. Over at this end, we've got Iaros himself, we've got the baggage train, archers, Thurius infantry, then the first rank is more shield wall guys flanked on either side by Syrian mercenaries with lots of armor. I'm anticipating some missile fire, so I thought I'd put the heavily armored guys up at the front. Naked fanatics over towards the back here, and then some cavalry. Yeah, and we're going to have to sort of move up quickly to these river crossings and try and hold them with what we've got. The enemy... Don't know what they're going to do. They might split the forces and try for both crossings at once, or they might decide to go all in on the one crossing, in which case I can either try and move the rest of the army over to that one crossing, or I can have my own guys go over that side and attack them in the rear. I don't know which is going to be the best option until we get started. So let's get started. At the moment, can't really see much. Okay, there they are. Get up there, boys.
Enemy reinforcements approaching.
We await your orders.
Let's try and get you guys deployed like so. Actually, arguably, move you back a bit. I'm thinking about this. I'm having a bit of a critical thunk. If we can try and get them into a sort of, don't know what you'd call it really, a castle almost. We'd get a probably decent flank attack bonus on whatever comes across. The only problem is you guys are exposing your flank to those archers. So I don't know to what extent this is a good idea. You move up like that. Shield wall. Form your shield wall, boys. Oh, don't mind the really horrible glitchy terrain. Right. Hopefully that'll hold. You boys, you need to move up here. Like so. I worry about these mercenaries. They are, as previously discussed, quite heavily armoured, but their morale sucks. Their morale is almost as bad as my skirmishers' morale, which is saying something. So... it's not like they fancy coming across just yet. They're probably waiting for their reinforcements, aren't they? Yeah, they will be. Alright. Yeah, you guys go defensive formation. There you go. That's what we want. Oh boy. What happens if I tell you to do that? You kind of don't really do what I need you to do. Alright, never mind. Go like that. And then I'll get these boys to sort of deploy like that. And that'll probably work.
Ready and eager. Get running.
These guys will chuck their javelins over the top. That's my general thinking. Also, they're decent enough fighters anyway, so keeping them in reserve so they can assist these guys if they start getting really tired is not a bad idea either. Alright. So far we're looking at... oh my god, they're bringing cavalry across. That's not a great start for them.
Our hidden units have been discovered.
Okay, guys, if that's what you want to do, I guess you could do that. Oh boy. A very poor life choice by the Rhodian commander. Sure, you guys are in guard mode.
One of our units has used all its ammunition.
It's interesting. We've got all those guys deployed over here. I'm curious to see what the Rhodian force does. It kind of looks like they're all making a beeline for the bridge and ignoring the other crossing at the moment, but that will change, I suspect, if I were to move any of these guys at all. They've obviously seem to have identified this as the weaker crossing. I wouldn't be so sure about that, personally. Got a much narrower bridge to get across over here. In melee combat even. For now, anyway. Oh, the cavalry are coming back. Alright, give him what for? You guys get a bonus against... Yeah, you do get a decent bonus against cavalry. Not as good as those boys, but you do get a bonus against cavalry. Oh, these guys. Oh, more Syrian mercenaries. It's Syrian mercenaries versus Syrian mercenaries, everybody. I'll explain why not so many of them have died to our missile attacks, admittedly. They are, as you can see, quite well armoured. A lot of those arrows are bouncing off. Cavalry's coming back again to have another go. Not a good life choice at all. Look at this guy dodging left and right. I was about to say, I don't know if is he doing the Shogun 2 thing where... No, he's actually he's the champion, I think. He's equipped with a sword normally. I was going to ask if he was doing the Shogun 2 thing whereby he's a spearman, but every time he goes to kill something, he switches to his sword. Creative Assembly still hadn't quite figured out how to make their musket sort of Napoleon Empire engine work for melee combat in Shogun 2. If you go back and play it one of these days, you'll notice that your Yari Ashigaru with their spears, every time they go to kill something, they'll put the spear away and switch to a katana and then kill it for the death animation. It's quite amusing. They all carry these big spears and none of them ever actually use them to kill stuff. Right, this is going to be... excuse me. This is going to be probably quite a lengthy meat grinder, really, by the looks of things. And it is looking like I'm going to have to move the troops either over here or have them go across the ford and attack the enemy from behind. This could be an absolute massacre if we can trap them all on the bridge from both ends. Be interesting to see if that's doable, actually. I'm not going to move anybody over there just yet. We'll see how this pans out. What are they doing? Trying to run away, perhaps? I'm really not sure. Yaros. Run them down. Oh, there we go. I'm not wavering.
Our general is under attack.
Yes, I know. Yaros knows what he's doing. Do you know, if it comes to it, I might get Yaros to dismount and get stuck into the melee at the front at some point.
We have discovered the enemy's hidden units.
Yeah, they're all massing on this bank, aren't they? Chief thing that I'm bothered about is their archers, to be honest, because they do have quite a few units of them. Now, guys aren't the most armoured units in the world. There is a reason I put the Syrians up at the front. Let's have you guys... archers forward. All of you, right back. I'd like to get you quite thoroughly out of range of the enemy archers, if possible. Give them the option of shooting the shield wall or shooting the heavily armoured mercenaries. Oh boy, yeah, here it comes. Flashbacks to the original Rome Total War here. This is a bridge battle, alright. Okay, they brought some hoplites across. Alright, well, yeah, this is going to be a long one, I suspect. The Syrian mercenaries are doing what, rather predictably, I thought they'd probably do.
our men flee the field of battle.
Your time has come, lads. Move on in. Alright. What we're going to do over here... You guys are heading that way. You guys are heading around that way. You guys... Yeah, I know. They're running away. Don't belabor the point, Marcus. I'm trying to find him in the middle of this mess. There we go. Right. Get out of that formation. Get yourselves over there. Archers, come and join them. Right. Rally, please. In you go. Right into the back of that phalanx, actually. That'd be perfect. Oh dear. It's looking a bit like I've miscalculated here on this flank, I'll tell you that. Immediately we could beeline for my bloody cavalry. God, it's annoying. Props to the Kareos there, who are holding in the middle in spite of everything. I shouldn't have tried to create a little box there, should I? That was a mistake. Right, get over there, charge them in the rear. Yaros. At this point, there's so many spearmen in there, I don't think you're much use to us while mounted anymore. So get down off your horse and be ready to get stuck in. Right, we've got cavalry over on this side. We're making their way over here. And we've got cavalry here, about to recharge these hoplites. Oh, that's quite beautiful. Well done, boys. Well done. Right, Yaros. Let's have you go over here and deal with these hoplites very specifically. The archers are out of ammo. Might as well get them over there at the back. I like that they still say elite cavalry even when they're on foot. Alright, boys. It's kind of... I didn't want you to do that at all. I wanted you to attack this group over here, but their formation's been so screwed up. Oh, Jesus. The Kareos in the middle of wavering. Alright, Cav, you've done quite well. Get back here. You guys should kick ass, even dismounted, hopefully. Alright, we've got Cav over here. Unfortunately, trying to get across into this area here is going to be difficult. For one thing, they've got cavalry in the way that need to be dealt with. Need you boys over here. Get a move on. Let's get you guys out of there. Need you cycle charging, really. Archers are in place. Shoot into there, please. In fact, concentrate fire. There we go. Rear charge off here, please. How effective that's really being, but hey. Cycle charge this. We'll send in the Cappadocians next, I think. Everything's going over here. You guys beat the snot out of those Greek cavalry. That's great to see. It's annoying that your shield wall is different from your defensive formation. It means I can't select your wall and have you go into defensive formation at the same damned time. Alright, Cappadocians, in you go. It's not really going to be a rear charge this, but more of a flank charge. Hopefully it might do something. I see you have killed one Greek militiaman. One Greek militiaman. Wow, okay, fine. See if If you guys can charge across the bridge into the backs of them, I suspect this is going to be a pathfinding nightmare, though. Let's see if we can get you guys out of here. Send in the shield wall. Is there any kind of gap in here we can exploit? It doesn't feel like it. I might be able to get around the side here, actually. Syrian mercenaries are back. Let's get them around the side there. Oh, hello. You've managed to get their archers running away. That's good. What have they got here? Thuria, Fori. It's very light infantry there. I think even the Syrians can take them, hopefully. We're a little weak on this side, which bothers me. Do another inspire. I'd be curious to see how many Yaros's boys have managed to kill before this battle's over, actually. Look at him go. Oh yeah, no, this is going magnificently. We've sort of managed to break into the middle here. The Yaros is leading the way, yes. Get in there, boys. Did my Syrians run away again? I think they might have done. Let's bring the cavalry back across the bridge. We'll send in the infantry. Is there anything we can exploit here with the... Well, there's them. Splat.
Our men flee the field of battle. This is a shameful display.
Where is the earth-shattering kaboom? Seems like our guys are routing as a result of that charge, not the other way around. How irritating. Let's pop a rally. I doubt it'll help very much, though. Ironically, I think this battle would have gone much better for us if it was just a straightforward open field battle. But hey-ho. They do have a lot of guys running away, though. Excuse me. Oh, damn it. Mouse wheel, why you do this? A rather meaty contingent of hoplites has done well for them, I think, in this particular battle. You guys concentrate fire there. Alright, we managed to get these guys turned around now. That's excellent.
One of our units has used all its ammunition.
I'd like you to recharge them, although I have a feeling you're going to be interrupted by all these fleeing guys. Oh no, you managed to make it through there. Very good. Oh, I love this. This is great. Phalanx fight. Oh, we did it. Never mind, I was just zooming in to get some cool shots of the shield wall versus the phalanx, but they've decided to peg it. Never mind. Well, that's that, I guess. Folks, I guess it's just down to the cleanup now. Lovely. We lost 1,000 men in the end, which it felt like worse than that, arguably. Really, it's still a huge chunk of the army, though. As you can see, one of our units of Carreos was completely annihilated, as was one of the units of Syrian mercs. It sucks to lose the Carreos, my frontline shield wall guys, but my goodness, they held for a very long time in the face of just being completely overwhelmed. I'm actually quite proud of them, even though they're all dead. Never mind, they've gone to join their ancestors. Their ancestors will no doubt be proud of them and happy to see them, etc. These guys have leveled up quite a bit too. Yeah, ouch. Ouch, 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 ouch. Enslave.
You have further orders?
On the bright side, Dura's garrison has been pretty much annihilated, so we can march on in there and take the place at our earliest convenience, really. Which Yaros definitely will be doing. So it worked out for the best in the end. I still feel like we might have done better in an actual field battle, but oh well.
Between friends, the gift of gold.
Oh, Knossos.
A sign of deep affection and respect.
These guys are always out with the begging bowl, these lads. They're always demanding money for a defensive alliance or demanding a non-aggression pact. Go away. Leave me alone. King Magrix will not receive you today. Try again tomorrow. Ooh. Technology increase. Very good. Ah, and the blades have leveled up. That's Iaris's guys. And a robbery. An enemy spy has stolen golden possessions from your agent, hindering their ability to act. Did you just rob poor Alauni here?
The people of Gaul.
I wonder, they must have a spy here I can't see somewhere. Still want to get rid of Hieronymus, but what's her face? Wenedottia has taken a sweet time getting here. She's on her way, though. Yes, better get a shift on, you're right. More ships built, household expands, Caxtos has gained a shipwright. I tell you why he's gained a shipwright. It's because he's in port at the moment. I actually moved Hipparchos and his fleet out into the bay here so that Caxtos can sit there in port, because I wanted to, I wanted to see if from port he'd be able to get to Rhodes in one turn, and it looks like he can't. You can almost get to Rhodes in one turn, but he very specifically cannot land on the coast. Do you know what? I think we can take Rhodes now. I was thinking of sending some ships over here to deal with them first, but it looks like... No, okay, I'm mistaken. I was going to say it looks like Caxtos can actually sail out and attack Rhodes in a single turn. He can't, though. There is a tiny red arrow there. Do you see it? Yeah, no, he can't. I'm sure that's by design, as far as the game mechanics go. I've completed our healer in Iconion. Very good. So I'm going to upgrade that to a Followers of Belenus. Still trying to combat the public order problems over here. I arguably could have gone with the Shrine of Rosmerta if I really needed a public order boost. But the nice thing about the Followers of Belenus building line is that they give you +5 growth per turn. And more growth for Galatia and Cappadocia would be nice, because as you can see, Ankara still has quite a bit of room to expand. As Iconion and Mazaka got a bit of room to expand as well. So, yeah, I'd like to up our growth there as much as possible, really. Let's have a look at tech. I believe we're still trying to get to siege towers. That will be done in 11 turns, though, so that's good. Not that we've had to deal with a lot of walled settlements lately, but hey. Right. Yaros. Really? Oh, wait, no, we just straight up captured it. Brilliant. It wasn't even a fight. Excellent. Loot. 16 grand. Thank you very much. And you can finish them off with a nice little auto-resolve. We're encamped outside the town. And we can say they surrendered, perhaps. Enslave captives, yes. Foolishly, they surrendered. And then were promptly enslaved. All right, we'll get fixing Dura up, and it's ours now. It's actually part of a two region province, Palmyra, which again, irritatingly, is shared with the Ptolemies. But never mind. Not bad though. We've taken Dura. Let's. What kind of place is Dura? Farming potential, trade potential, industrial potential. Some small bonuses to all three types of income. Then basically, it has -8% for tax. Annoyingly. So, but we can build pretty much anything we want here. It's got a hoplite barracks at the moment and a mega frurion, aka a public field. That we might be able to convert into something interesting. The barracks, I'm actually going to just demolish that. I don't need another barracks. I have built, or I'm in the process of building, a meeting ground, aka a Gallic barracks over here in Mesopotamia. I don't really need another one next door. So we've also got a free slot here because they had a building here that I could only convert into a ranch. Which ranches are really good. They provide you with a ton of food. However, they also give you a huge public order debuff. So I didn't really want one. What are the province effects for Hatra? Now that we've bloody got the place finally. Tax potential, farming and grazing, trade and industrial. Okay, it's a pretty good moneymaker then, essentially. Trade's the big one, though. I guess the really noticeable... Actually, I say that. No, farming and grazing gets +8%. So I probably do want to build a farm here. I just didn't want to build a massive ranch, is the thing. So I'm trying to... It's not the trader's field. It's the enclosed land. Is that the one you can turn into a farm? Yes. So, yeah, essentially I was able to build either a cattle ranch or a centralized ranch. And they have -4 public order and -8 for the centralized ranch. So neither of them seemed like a great idea at the time. I would rather have farms for I mean, well, cattle would be good. It would make us more money. But more food's more useful to us at the moment, actually, because right now we've got 0 food. At the moment, so yeah. Although we have a public order problem too, so it's a bit like, oh god. Clay pit gives you a bit of food. The clay pit line gives you some food. That's that is farm income. That's weird. Potters and clay gives you farming income. Oh wait, no. I was thinking it gives you a bonus agricultural income. It kind of doesn't. No, it gives you +12 income from presumably farms that you've got in the place already. Gosh, I don't know. Anyway, we do want to build this enclosed land. Maybe I should have just gone with the bloody ranch. I don't know. The enclosed land... no, I'm mixing it up with a different building. There's a few that are all, like, land. They're all just called, like, land. There's the trader's field, there's enclosed land, and there's a different type of field as well, which I think gives public order. A lot of the Celtic sort of barbarian building chains start with a field, as it turns out. Anyway, right. Alright, folks, I've decided I've had enough of these Rhodians and their shenanigans. Hipparchos is going to start a questionable tradition of Gallic naval warfare by attacking these guys. I will be very curious to see how this goes. Oh my god, really? I thought you had enough movement points to get there. Now you're telling me you don't? Oh, that's annoying. I'll have to wait till next turn now! I was all ready to get started, and now I've got to friggin... Excuse me, wait. Ah, how irritating. Oh, we still need to deal with these guys as well. The dread nomads here. The tiny surviving remnant of Araba as a faction is sat in the corner here raiding next to this lake. Yeah, we need to kill you off as well. Anyway, folks, I want to do some sneaky breaky stuff. Preto. Abbey sabotage on these guys. Let's see if it works. Reduces movement range of an enemy army. Cunning based. Unfortunately, we don't get a cool cinematic. This isn't Shogun 2, but it was successful. It's annoying, isn't it? Yeah, I know all about it. Right, now, when Adotia, I'd like to try and get her to assassinate this spy, because we've actually spotted him finally. Unfortunately, the chance of it succeeding is 11%. I'm going to give it a go anyway, though.
The ravens will feast.
Oh my god, she actually did it.
Never any doubt.
She's... Apparently there was never any doubt. No, there was plenty of doubt. But well done, Wanadotia. You murdered that spy like a champ. I'm very proud of you. Maybe you can kill this guy next. That's a first for me. I've never managed to do that in Rome 2 before. I usually just tolerate enemy agents, to tell you the truth. I don't really engage with them very much. I just thought for giggles that time I might give it a go, and it turns out that was a grand idea. Anyway, right, naval battle time. Let's do this, finally. I don't know how this is going to go. We do outnumber them a bit. I did, as you can see, decide to recruit some expat Rhodians who obviously have an axe to grind with the current Rhodian government. Oh my god, have they run off into the fog? They have. The gits. Ah, where have they gone? Maybe this way? Running away, eh? Yellow bastards. Oh, what the heck? Where have they gone? Is there a... Oh, there they are. I probably could have got them. Oh, we're going to wait another turn now. Alright, this is the following turn. We're now in January 270 BC. Wenadotia, you had an amazingly lucky kill last time. Do you think you could repeat that by assassinating this Hieronymus fellow? 17% chance to assassinate. This is a higher chance than last time. Watch it go badly. She was wounded.
I've had worse wrestling bear cubs.
Alright, she'll need some time to heal before returning to your service. Oh well. Good effort. You beat the snot out of you, though. You're not dead, though. That's the main thing. Right.
Ready for orders.
Please let me fight you this time, you bastards. You'll probably beat me anyway. I suck at naval battles. Right, yeah. If this was any ordinary playthrough, I would have auto-resolved this, because... Wait, no, hang on a minute. No! Okay, the auto-resolve thinks we will be completely massacred. I had that backwards, sorry. Okay. Yeah, I don't know how this is gonna go. This experiment with Gallic naval supremacy. Oh dear lord. Alright folks, we are deployed and ready for this naval battle, the first naval battle of this campaign. Could quite easily be the last naval battle of this campaign as well, as far as I'm concerned. But hey, here we are. On one of the ships with a bunch of Galatian warriors who volunteered for this. Lunatics. Somehow Eparchos has managed to convince these men of the Tulistaburgi tribe to try out this whole fighting on big wooden boats thing. We're all deployed and ready. I've got the Rhodian Marines, the guys who actually know what they're doing, up at the front. Here they are. They obviously look rather impressive. And then the second line is all of our Galatians. And then at the back, I've got Eparchos himself and his mighty longship. With a little swan figurehead, very nice, very Tolkien, that, actually. Very Silmarillion of you there. Yeah, with his guys here. If they can board something, they could probably do quite a good job of murdering it, actually, to be fair. They've just got to try and board it somehow, that's the problem. I mean, look at this thing. It's got half the number of awards of even these guys. It can't ram anything. Bloody liability, this thing. Anyway. Where is Eparchos himself? Out of curiosity. I assume he's in here somewhere. I don't really remember exactly what he looks like off the top of my head, is the thing. I don't think he's ever been on the battlefield before now, so... I'm not sure where he... That might be him there, actually. Him here with the shirtless one? Yeah, that's got to be him. He's, yeah, clipping into another dude with an awesome bird hat, so we can't really get a very good look at him, but there he is. With his strange Talistabogi ways, his strange cultural practice of shaving off his facial hair before going into battle, as we've previously discussed. Alright, and there's the enemy. They've got their big ship with the tower on it, crewed by a bunch of Rhodian Marines who probably know exactly what they're doing, unlike us. And then they've got all their other little ships with Rhodian slingers on them, which I'm worried about. We're going to have to just try and basically close the distance as quick as possible and board those ships. Really, I think that's kind of my plan. Just charge! Basically, that's the plan. Go!
Listen to my every command. You will obey my orders.
Oh.
I will not stand for any who disobey or who cannot stomach the fight. We are warriors. We are winners. Do you understand?
Not a lot of cheers as a result of that speech. Parker's clearly feeling his men need some encouragement. I don't think they're all feeling particularly confident, you know. Oh boy, here come the Rhodian slingers doing their thing.
Ready, willing, and able.
Right, we need you guys in
Ready yourselves.
boarding mode, I think.
Get up.
Our general is under attack.
Weapons ready. Draw weapons.
Normally I ram when I play this, but we really need to board you guys, I think.
Weapons ready. Assault ships ready to attack.
There we go. Get stuck in.
One of our units has used all its ammunition.
Get you guys around the back.
Attack! Pause! Aye! Assault ship awaiting your word.
See if you can get in there. Where's your Parkos and his longship? He's just... Oh, I think he's boarding something. Not sure what he's doing exactly, really, but... Oh boy. Oh my god. Okay. Yeah, their big ship just rammed the absolute living crap out of that.
Reporting. Ships ready to attack. Attack!
Would you board them, please? For goodness sake. Excuse me.
Ships ready.
Oh, oh.
Assault ships reporting.
Somebody please do what you're supposed to actually do and board the enemy.
What do we say? Crewed by warriors and ready.
Alright, what's the longship doing here? Are you boarding the big ship now? Looks like they are. Alright, I'm hoping that you lads are going to be able to do alright in a stand-up fight against that. Bar is not looking very encouraging, is it? There's a ship on fire over here. That's one of theirs. Good. What's going on? This ship's virtually empty. Because they're busy slaughtering Rhodian slingers. That's good. This ship's on fire.
We await your command.
Can I get you to board them and assist Eparchos? Because if Eparchos dies here or starts running away, it's not gonna, yeah, it'd be bad. Let's try and get you around here to help out as well. Oh my god, naval battles are such a mess.
The battle is turning in our favor.
By warriors and ready.
Right, let's see if we can get you guys involved.
Ready.
You as well. Just somebody help. I don't know if you can have two ships board one ship at the same time. I have no idea how naval combat in this game works. I think we're winning though, by the looks of things. We appear to be doing okay, I think. You guys are gonna board? You're just standing there getting pelted by slingers. You're even facing the wrong direction to boot. Why? I don't know. This is weird. You know what? I can't tell who's winning, really. It says we're losing, but I don't know. Parker's guys seem to be doing alright for themselves so far. So far, emphasis on. I did order these guys to help out. They're not really doing much in the way of helping out, though.
Our general has fallen.
Oh boy, there goes Hipparchos. Well, he will not live long enough to see the fruits of his little naval experiment, it would seem. You guys are running away. I see. Will you just, yeah, board them? Yeah, they're running away. Are these bodyguards at least going to fight on? Looks like they are for now. They're actually winning, apparently.
Ships and oars ready.
Excuse me. Yeah, their boat is trying to flee, with our guys still on it, interestingly. Block them from trying to flee. Do not let them. The, oh dear. The longship is sinking. No finer metaphor for this experience could you hope to find. The proper Greek warships are all fine. Our ridiculous longship, on the other hand, is going to the bottom of the sea. Oh dear. How's about you all just ram this thing? There we go. Possibly what we should have done from the start, really. Well, that's that. Hipparchos has fallen. I'm going to appoint Adbitos here in his place because he is a Tullista Bogey guy. Oh, actually, we have a choice here. We got this guy too. All right, well, what's the difference then? Minus 10% city centre building, construction cost, +2 public order local province, and this guy is +2 cultural conversion, minus 20% public order penalties due to local presence of foreign cultures. He would make a very good kind of governor-y type guy. They both would, really, actually. Terranutios. I like you, Terranutios. You are going to be one of Hipparchos' chieftains that stepped forward to lead the clan, and is going to build another one of these ridiculous long ships because he's convinced that Hipparchos was onto something. So yeah, he's now leading this fleet. That could have gone a lot worse, admittedly. It could have gone a lot better too. What's left of their fleet seems to have ended up over here. Oh yes, honourable death, Hipparchos. Oh, there you go. Mireos. They've got a new guy. Interesting. They've got Terranutios, and they've also got Mireos. Mireos seems to have replaced Hipparchos in some fashion. Although, actually, I did get a message somewhere. Where was it? Oh, it's not there, but I did get a message about new appointee, actually, and I was thinking it was going to be another person popping up in the other nobles tab, but actually no, it looks like it might have been this guy here, Mireos. Alright, so the Tullista Bogey have 3 characters now. Arguably, should get these 2 married. Not to each other, obviously, I just mean... Could get her married, actually. To someone. To Hipparchos' widow, you see. I'm not going to for now, though. Although I probably should. Oh, I'll leave it for now. She's in mourning. Leave it at least a month. Okay, right. Magrix, probably about time you finish these guys off. Phrasing and all that, I know.
I am the knife in the dark.
Yes, the guys down here who are outside Hatra, they suicide attacked Hatra, and the garrison killed them in an auto-resolve fight off-screen. In case you were curious about what happened to those guys, no longer a problem. Yaros is just sort of hanging out now outside Dura, not doing an awful lot. I suppose I could set him to patrol, really. Yeah, that's probably a good idea.
Stragglers will be left behind.
Yeah. Mesopotamia. Our chunk of Mesopotamia is doing okay for now, public order-wise. Apsicos is doing alright. Yeah. Keep the Durans in line. some other things here. You can do patrols with naval fleets, apparently. 50% of a force total movement, minus 50% piracy penalties in local sea region. I've not been able to find out exactly what effect piracy penalties have. I've noticed that piracy penalties go up by building certain types of port, like trading ports, but I've never been able to figure out exactly what piracy penalties penalise. Just doesn't seem to say anywhere. Might be your trade income. I don't know. It doesn't actually spell it out anywhere for you. So, and of course you can do raiding as well, which is not a terrible idea actually. Although right now I need him to get over here, kill the rest of these guys, and then basically escort Caxtos to Rhodes so that we can finally put an end to this annoying little blue faction. Oh, hang on a minute. They've got... Oh, this guy escaped. Democritus escaped. Interesting. I thought that was him over here, but it's not, apparently. Athena's faithful. It's another little tiny fleet. Alright, interesting. Democritus gets to live. Apparently. Anyway. This guy, though... Well, he's got an extra turn to go, apparently, but he won't live for much longer, although he has fortified himself, so that's a little annoying, but hey. Never mind. Ladies and gentlemen, I think I'm going to leave you. I'll drop the save just to make sure I remember to do it. I've forgotten to do it in the past, with catastrophic consequences. Thanks very much for tuning in, my dudes and dudettes. Apparently, like, 5% of my audience is female, according to YouTube analytics, so hi to you girls as well. You're mostly dudes, though. Thanks for tuning in. Hope you've enjoyed it. I hope you particularly enjoyed that slightly ridiculous naval battle. I mean, Rome 2 naval battles are pretty dumb on a good day, but I don't know. Something about all these Gauls trying their hand at naval warfare just made it just that little bit extra absurd. And I enjoyed that. It was very funny. I should note, actually, interesting thing happening over here. Bithynia, I should have brought this up earlier, but Bithynia kind of pissed off a lot of the population of Thrace. These guys, they're currently at war. Oh, sorry, no. Yeah. They might be defensive allies with Bondus, but they are at war right now with Udi, who are undiscovered. Basileon Odrison, those guys. They're at war with the Tilistobogi, those guys. And they're at war with the Absinthioi, those guys. So they're at war with these three factions, plus someone else out somewhere else I can't see. Be interesting to see if they can hold out, frankly. I wouldn't mind one of these factions taking Nicomedea and then maybe Sinope, because then I can gobble it up for myself without, you know, pissing off Pontus, basically. Because, I mean, the thing is, we've had fairly good relations with Bithynia, but at the moment, our relations are a little cool. Not quite such big fans of us these days, apparently. Most of the reason for that, apparently, is because we have trading rights with the Absinthioi, and they don't like our expansionism. Yeah. We used to be good friends with the Bithynians, but if they die, they die. And I will swoop in and take all this stuff. And probably, yeah, I'll be quite happy to go to war with some of the tribes of Thrace, you know, bash them in the head, add them to our little empire as we move west. I'm totally up for that. Might liberate this one, so I don't have to deal with, you know, border skirmishes with nomads or anything like that. I'll have a little, not a vassal state because we can't have those, but you know, an independent state as a buffer up there. But I wouldn't mind taking Anthea. I'd like to confederate with the Tilistobogi. I don't know if we'll ever be able to do it though. Anyway, just random thoughts about the future. But that'll do it for today, folks. Thanks very much. Toodaloo.